This is Video of the Damned on the Morbidly Beautiful Network. This is the year end episode, not a year end review. So typically I do these with Colleen from Drunk Monkeys and Fangoria. She's been a bit preoccupied. Drunk Monkeys came to an end, and I wrote a farewell. So you can see that, read that, and other farewells from writers and editors on the site at drunkmonkeys.us. And I decided just to go ahead and do this wrap up. Not so much every movie, because you can just go back and hear my reviews, watch my reviews on Video the Damned for this year's films. And I didn't get to see everything that I probably should have. Still haven't seen Sinners. That's probably the big one that I missed. Never have been a Conjuring guy, so I didn't watch the Conjuring movie. But I have a couple more that I got to see here at the end of the year that I'll review briefly. Um, but what happened this year, besides just the hellscape that we all live in? My other podcast endeavor, Shaky Town Radio, took an inadvertent hiatus. My partner in that, Gene George, has been also preoccupied, and I'm not sure when him and I will reunite to do more episodes of that. I got one pilot episode of a thing called Frank Conversation with my friend Justin over at Horrormonger Collectibles in Mesa, Arizona. And it was promoing uh, a showing of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 with our friends at Sin Asylum, and the appearance of the gentleman in that movie who played Leatherface, Bob Elmore. So we got to meet Bob Elmore and hang out with him, and that was a fun time. Bob unfortunately fell ill shortly after he passed away, and I'm not saying that's why we haven't gotten back together to record any episodes of Frank Conversation, but it certainly did put a dark cloud over things, to say the least. I still proudly wear my Texas Chainsaw Massacre shirt from that night that Bob told me he liked. Um, but also Justin got married and then did a bunch of traveling, and I did a bunch of traveling for work, for a job I don't have anymore. So I figured it might be a good time to hit pause on Video the Damned as well. I enjoyed my relationship with Morbidly Beautiful. These episodes have come out fewer and further between, and I kind of committed to the idea of doing quarterly specials, and I'm still not ruling that out, but I'm definitely saying farewell for now. I'm working on launching a new thing, and so I hope that you will follow me there. Just go to brodyhubbard.com to see that when that's ready. But otherwise, if I feel so inclined to do more movie reviews, the only place I would feel like doing that is here at Morbidly Beautiful. So, is that good enough for a year review? Let's talk about some of the movies that I got to see lately. Black Phone 2. So I really enjoyed the first Black Phone. I wasn't familiar with the story that it's based on, but the adaptation was great. All the actors in it were excellent, and I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy Black Phone 2. It's a beautifully shot film. The actors are great in it. The Grabber is an interesting villain, although I think he's kind of getting shoved into icon status in a less organic way than like an Art the Clown has become a horror icon. I mean, you think about the first Terrifier short film, or even like the first Art the Clown appearance in the Seventh Circle, all the way up to Terrifier 4 coming out in the next year. So that's a span of almost 20 years. That's a long time for an icon to be made. They've tried to make the Grabber an icon like in the last 2 or 3 years, like the Fanta deal and things like that. Um, and with this movie, they really tried to shoehorn in a bunch of new lore. This was kind of like a Nightmare on Elm Street 3 version of Black Phone, but I didn't think it was earned. There's a twist where the relationship between the Grabber um, and I'll say somebody in the story, they retcon this kind of deeper relationship or connection prior to the events of Black Phone that changes the meaning of a lot of things. And I understand that they were trying to add depth to the overall story, but it didn't work for me. Um, I would say Stranger Things, these last couple episodes, if you watch that show, similarly, they're trying to shoehorn a bunch in at the end, and it doesn't feel earned. Um, and it doesn't matter how long the creators have had the story in mind. It doesn't matter if this is something they came up with at the last minute or changed in editing. Like I'm saying for both things, for Stranger Things or Black Phone. Um, if you foist it upon people in an unearned way, it's just not going to resonate. And for me, it didn't resonate. I have plenty of friends who loved it or thought it was okay. I thought it was okay. I probably won't watch it again. I don't know that I will pursue Black Phone 3 unless I was reviewing it. Um, but M3GAN 2.0, on the other hand, which everybody told me was not good, I really enjoyed. M3GAN 2.0 is not so much a horror film as it is a character from an earlier horror film now put into an action sequel. I think you need to not take the M3GAN franchise too seriously. Unfortunately, it seems like people took it so unseriously that they didn't show up in theaters to watch it, and there's probably not going to be sequels or spin-offs that had been planned. There was that Soulmate spin-off that has been shelved for now. Um, but I think if you go into it with the expectation that this is just absurd, it's supposed to be fun, it's not supposed to be a scary horror movie. It's just taking this M3GAN character the same way like you take Chucky and you put Chucky into comic situations on the show or some of the later sequels. It's a relationship with the character and fun seeing how the character interacts. And in this case, M3GAN is the hero kind of this story. They kind of pull a Terminator 2 where um, you may remember from Judgment Day if you're one of the if you're one of the few people who had never saw that movie uh, because it was like the biggest hit for all time for a while. That Arnold Schwarzenegger character is the bad guy in number one. It became a hit. So number two, they make the Arnold Schwarzenegger cyborg the hero in a weird way. And they do the same thing with M3GAN in a weird way in M3GAN 2.0. But it's a fun ride. Just watch it as a fun ride. It wasn't supposed to be a prestigious horror sequel. Speaking of non-prestigious horror, Screamboat is one of the public domain horrors that came out this year. And I didn't see any of them really except Screamboat. Just like in years past, I didn't really watch any except for the mean one. And this too has David Howard Thornton in the role of in this case the mouse. They don't call him Mickey. Um, Screamboat is a homage to a bunch of Disney characters, and it all takes place on a steamboat. It's very much like what comes to mind is the boat scene in the boat sequence in Jason Takes Manhattan, Friday the 13th, Part 8. But that's the whole movie, goings on a boat. Um, and you see some cameos from some other Terrifier 2 people, and it's very tongue in cheek. It's again a horror comedy, if anything. Very gory because it is some of the same effects people and filmmakers, not Damien Leone, but behind some like earlier Terrifier installments. And of course, David Howard Thornton doing his genius thing. Um, if you're gonna watch any of these public domain knockoff movies, Screamboat is the one to watch because that one they actually put some effort into. Good Dog. Good Dog is a horror movie that takes place all pretty much from the perspective of a dog. And it's a haunted house story. It's a kind of deteriorating mental health as uh, a horror device. And um, it's got Larry Fessenden in a cameo, so that's always good. This was a really good episode of television. This was like a really good anthology entry. It's not an epic sprawling film. It is a good short length film, not a short film because it is a feature, but it's a very short feature. and it is worth your time. I think that it was a haunting and well-made movie, and you cannot help but to love the dog protagonist. And it's a quick watch, so watch it. Two more films. One is more of a shot on video YouTube specialty here, Screamwalkers. So somebody has done an homage to both Scream and Sleepwalkers and combined it into one film shot on video. And it looks like a 90s shot on video movie or even 80s. So it's very authentic in that sense that it feels like if you didn't know that Scream was a hit in the like more mid to late 90s and through the 2000s, then you could somebody who had no idea who Ghostface was and didn't recognize the mask would feel like that this could have been an authentic article from the 80s of shot on video. But it does happen to be like I said, a combination of those two stories. It's you probably have not heard of the actors, you probably not have heard of the writer or the director. um it's a a low budget. It's a um no studio paid for this. These folks did it themselves, and it looks great. It's um a compelling story, and I can't say that I didn't guess the who done it part of it. I didn't wasn't stunned by the mystery reveal, but I thought still was done in a good way and true to the Scream franchise. Um, it's worth your time. It's on YouTube. It's like watching Good Dog. It's like an hour of your time. Finally, screw Deathstalker. So this is the old sword and sorcery film, but remade by Stephen Kostansky, who did Psycho Gorman and Frankie Frico. And it removes all the kind of sexuality from those early sword and sorcery films where it's just rape and pillaging, like literally, and very problematic to watch now. Although it should have been problematic then. But they Costancy just gets around that by not making it about women at all. It's about well, let me stipulate here. There are women characters, at least one. But it's to say that it's not sleazy. It's not a sleazy movie, but it is a gory movie. And it's the titular Deathstalker going on a quest, much like he did in the original incarnation of Deathstalker. But this has the Kostansky sense of humor, and it has the great creature effects and gore, and even a brief Ray Harryhausen homage of stop motion animation. If you're a big Patton Oswalt fan, he does a voiceover in this. He's the voice of a character played by um, a little person in the role because it's much like a Willow or a who did Billy Party play in Masters of the Universe? Like the Orko knockoff from that movie, kind of like that, like a diminutive sorcerer who tags along with Deathstalker. Patton Oswalt does the voice for that, and it's really funny. It's not like funny in the sense that it's a spoof or a parody, not even in the way like the editor was, but which was an homage to Giallo. But this is like truly an homage to sword and sorcery films, um, but without making fun of them, celebrating what is good about them. But like I said, with those little bits of humor in it and running jokes as well. But great gore. Um, I would even dare say you could watch this with some kids, maybe not your tiniest children who are scared easily. I have a 11-year-old son who I allowed to watch this because monsters spurting blood in cartoonish ways is not going to traumatize him. He plays video games. Um, there wasn't any sex to worry about or to explain from the film like there would be the first Deathstalker. And it's not really like a whole bunch of swearing if that's a problem for you. Um, I guarantee kids are saying worse things on the playground. But I liked it. And Deathstalker was probably my favorite movie this year. I've already watched it two or three times since the first, I don't think I can say that about any of the other films that I watched this year. But since we're at the end of my new reviews, let's just take a look real quick at what else I reviewed this year that I can speak on. I am shooting this live. I am trying a different format. Um, Morbidly Beautiful, you're being so kind to let me use this as a guinea pig for how I'm going to shoot a new endeavor that I'm doing. But if you look at the the damn playlist on the Morbidly Beautiful YouTube channel, you'll see that I went to well, I saw Companion to begin the year, which I still think is a great movie. I love The Monkey. I'm apparently one of the only one. I still need to see the new Oz Perkins joint. Um, I liked Hard Eyes, and apparently they're doing a sequel. I don't know if I'll love the sequel, but we'll see. Black Theta by far like the best slasher I saw this year. Still loved Tim Connolly's Black Theta, and did enjoy Cannibal Mukbang, even though that's not technically a 2025 release. It's been just more widely distributed this year. So only one, two, three, four, five, six episodes of Video the Damned this year. It's like one every 2 months. Plus a little special that I shot, a little special report about Netflix buying Warner Brothers. And what does that mean for horror? You can see my POV of that here on the channel. And yeah, I have enjoyed my time here on the Morbidly Beautiful Network. The old interviews series I did, The Chamber, and then everything that I have put up over the last, gosh, has it already been 2 years? Or has it been 3 years? It's been just over two and a half. It's been 2.5 years since I started, a little over 2 years since I started producing my Video the Damned reviews for Morbidly Beautiful. Um, I am looking to pivot into more of my own work, my own writing and filmmaking, and to do that, I have put other things on hold. And as I've been saying and warning for a while, Video the Damned is and is going to be one of those things. Um, Fewer and further between, but uh, if I don't return, if I don't see you on the other side, I want to just say thank you to everybody for who does tune in and watch this and who does subscribe to see these. Morbidly Beautiful continues on with or without me, with the other contributors, and certainly in print. You go to morbidlybeautiful.com for all that. But I again wouldn't be surprised if you see me again in a few months for a new um, set of reviews. And eventually I got to do Terrifier 4, right? Like that's been the bread and butter of my views. Is the Terrifier franchise and videos about that. So but again, in any case, I'll be at brodyhubbard.com. And it's going to be an interesting couple of years in society, in the country, and for entertainment, for film. But horror will remain and maintain as it always has. And we will keep true to our fandom and our support of the horror genre. So thank you and Happy New Year.